Hey everyone, it is July 20th, about 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is the 4-hour chart of Bitcoin, BTC, USD on the Bitfinex exchange. So first of all, the video is not investment advice. And second of all, I talked about how we would have like a bigger move in Bitcoin, especially once we broke through the base. We just had to get above the 6,800 level. I did think that this area was going to pose a big threat to Bitcoin as resistance, but something's kind of telling me, the crazies are coming out the woodwork. We're seeing the crazy projections. I think somebody, one of my subs asked, that they read that somebody posted that Bitcoin was going to go to 50,000 by the year end, and that's the insanity I want to see. I want to see this market get really, really insane, because every single time it does, it turns into an absolute disaster. And we can already see what's happening with the alts today, but I do not think that necessarily the music is going to stop for Bitcoin during this run, during this little rally. And I think we are more than likely going to get through this zone. And as doing so, we're going to blow people's minds. We're going to blow the hopium out the doors, and everyone is literally going to levitate out of their seats, because so much hopium is just going to flood the cryptocurrency market. And Tom Lee and John McAfee and whoever else is hyping this crap up is going to go, they're going to go so berserk. I mean, their projections are going to become tenfold of whatever they are now. So if Tom Lee is saying like 25, 30,000 by year end, he's going to be like 350,000 by the year end, or by next week, or some crazy thing like that, So that's kind of what I'm looking for, is that level of insanity. And we're kind of peeking in there. We're kind of like creeping in to the twilight zone for these projections. So again, the market trading is all just an ebb and flow of basically bullish and bearish sentiment. As much as we can sit here and talk about the technical analysis about this, the biggest major factor is what's happening psychologically to the players in this game. So if everyone is psychologically thinking that this is the bottom and that's it, it's going to the moon, how easy is that trade? You know what I'm saying? Which leads for an opportunity to create some chaos, especially if you're a big player. Come in, slaughter the guppies, wreck their dreams, make them cough up their positions at a much lower price, and then rally it from there, and then whip them around all over again, and just keep repeating the process. That's exactly what we see in Bitcoin. That's what it's like the same repetitive pattern over and over and over again. Yes, the face is changing a little bit. Yes, the pops to the upside are getting a little more drawn out, like I've talked about, from point A to point B, and then from B to C, and then from C to D is probably going to be somewhere well out in October or so, if this run survives and is able to get above and hold above 7,800, which I highly doubt. This is the resistance line, 7,800. I do think we're going to crack that. How long we stay above that, I have no idea. But I think by cracking that, we're going to crack to a whole new level of insane bullish projections for Bitcoin. And even the mainstream media, our happy friends over there, who have led all the sheep to the slaughter perfectly every single time, they will hop on board and they will toot the horn as loud as they possibly can, beat the drum, shoot the party flares off, shoot the fireworks and everything else. So again, I think that we're going to push up. And as I've said in the past, I'm going to stick with it, that once we get above this level, it's going to be a short-lived experience, and everyone's going to doubt it. Everyone's going to think it's going to the moon, Lamborghini dreams, and whatever else. And I don't mean to say it like being demeaning, but again, it's all about what's happening to the investor financially and psychologically. And honestly, the psychological weight is way more powerful than just the financial aspect of it, because when people start doing the happy dance, and people are doing the happy dance, and they start doing it, and everyone's celebrating, that's when you got to get scared. So blood in the streets is where the opportunity is, and when everyone's partying, that's when you need to start worrying and looking for an exit. So Again, the one thing I preach in a lot of my videos is that if you are a trader, you need to have an investment strategy. That is the only way you're going to protect yourself. So while I do think that we'll bust above this zone, it's going to get very toppy and very erratic, something very similar to what we saw here, but I don't think we're necessarily producing this move. Again, one thing I've cautioned about this move in Bitcoin is that every single pop in the past now has had significant volume. I mean, literally almost double the amount of volume we are currently experiencing at this level. And that could be because a lot of these traders are not showing back up. A lot of the big money has already escaped. And now it's turning more into just play money probably from these bigger players, to where they're just like tossing some money in, moving the markets. I'm thinking, you know, I think at the end of the day, I could be absolutely wrong by saying so, but I think it's the exchanges keeping this thing alive as best as they possibly can, because their entire business model revolves around this, obviously. So I think Bitcoin's trying to hunt for the actual bottom, but due to the market manipulation that we're having consistently, it's prolonging this nature. And you can see this. I mean, just look at it. Look at the prolonged nature of this. And again, the hopium is going to skyrocket through the roof, and it's going to continue to do so. And people are going to hate these videos because they're like, "Oh, you're talking logic. Like, how dare you?" But you know, so if we get above 7,800 and we hold trading this zone and we hold above this zone, and there becomes a whole new platform and a whole new market, I will change my analysis. But if we get up here and start whipping around like so, I can pretty much guarantee that this market is going to do what it's done in the past every single time and drop out. If we fail to break 7,800, dip down, bust through this support, which is right around 6,800, then we're going to progress down lower. And if we start to make this move, you better believe it's going to be absolutely brutal for Bitcoin and the altcoins, you know, as well, meaning we will smash through 5,700, and if we do that, it's not going to be a pretty picture. So I don't want to get too far into that because that's fantasy land. Anywhere below above 7,800 is fantasy land. Anywhere below 5,750 is pure fantasy. So I don't want to get too far ahead of myself in these videos, but hopefully everybody, you know, understands that I'm just trying to stress caution here. I know there's a lot of hype in this market, but think about all the other times we've had hype in this market, especially this one, right? Think about all the other times. The only thing I can say, there's a lot of money to be made in the market if you play it right, right? If you play it right, you're going to make some really good money. You have some stops in place, you protect yourself. But you start buying into this crazy frenzy of like wild projections where people are talking. I mean, let me just visually draw this, because I know I sound like the biggest ass in the world when I make fun of these people that are making these crazy projections. But look at this. I can't even zoom out far enough. Let me go like all the way to the daily chart and see. And I gotta go to a weekly chart, I'm sorry. But for me, to prove my point, look at where we have to be to reach the insanity of like Tom Lee. Look at where we have to be to reach the insanity of whoever said it was going to 50,000. I don't know. My sub didn't. I don't think he might have wrote a name, but I didn't even pay attention to it. But anyways, so look at that insanity. That is the weekly chart. So you're telling me this is year end. This is year end. You're telling me Bitcoin is going to do this before year end. I can't even draw it without laughing. It's just like ridiculous. You know, so I just try to keep it humble. Just try to keep it logical. I'm not trying to really make fun of anybody, but I just try to urge caution. You know, we're not seeing the same volume we've seen in the past. Things are weak. You know, we're trying to build a house on some freaking popsicle sticks here, when in the past we were using lumber and that wasn't working, and now we're down to popsicle sticks and we're like, oh, let's just see if we can make it work. And it's not that I think it's the end of the cryptocurrency market, but the instability is there, the volatility is going to be there, and as we make these pops to the upside, one has to logically assume they're not going to last very long, because it's the same exact price action we've seen in the past. And like I talked about in my prior video, not to like run on a tangent here, but this same exact bar, sorry about that, I grabbed the wrong tool. This same exact bar right here happened in the 22nd hour on the chart. It was right on the 22nd hour for, or sorry, the 2 hour bar. It was the 2 hour bar in April. This bar right here was the 2 hour bar as well. The exact same time frame is when this market got kicked off. That's how I took the trade with my subs. I took the trade. I told them over the weekend to take it. I entered the futures market right here, and I told them, I said, I have a feeling that we're producing this right here. And it exactly panned out to the T. Explosive move, about 17.8%. It jumped up in the futures market, and it's just, I mean, just a crazy explosive move. But beyond that, what's even crazier than making the money, it's not even about that. It's about this. It's about that these two bars, these two waves occurred at the same exact like 4 hour bar. Like, that's not a coincidence. There is a player or multiple players, whether the exchanges or any, just some random Joe Schmo guy behind the desk just clicking a button laughing. There is clear manipulation in this market. And this market is completely reliant on that manipulation. Without that manipulation, this market's going to find a true bottom. And where that true bottom lies, I do not know. So again, when I tell everybody caution, I don't mean to go on these rants and kind of like, poke fun at these people like talking about these wild and crazy figures, but I can't stress it enough. I know people are trading their hard-earned money, and I try to keep it logical. I try to keep it a little bit entertaining as well. I try to, put a little more jokes in there, a couple more jokes, but it's just, you have to exercise caution. This market is not run like a typical market. Honestly, it reminds me of gold, and in gold, there's a lot of manipulation in price due to the banking cartel, but I don't want to go on that tangent. But anyways, one would have to logically assume if the prior manipulation led to the same disasters, nice run, and then complete collapse, nice run, complete collapse, nice run, complete collapse. That's what you have to logically assume. To assume anything other than that is just pure hope. It's like you might as well just cross your fingers, throw your money in there, don't look at your screen until December 31st, 2018, and that's it, and see if Tom Lee is right, and we're at 30,000 or above by the year end. But, we're seeing the proof the proof is right there on the screen. Every single pop is leading to an absolute train wreck in price because these moves are not able to sustain themselves because they're artificially created, and then you have the mainstream media doing their job to suck in as many sheep as possible, and the wolves are going crazy time and time again, and there's so much money to be made on the short side. It's absolutely ridiculous, and they're just slaughtering them over and over and over again. And I feel like I'm like literally the only person out there like saying this, and I know it draws a lot of hate from people because no one wants to hear about that, especially in a market to where people believe in the technology is the absolute is the future. And it's not that I'm trying to like degrade that and say that it's not, and say that Bitcoin's going to zero or anything like that, but we are in a very turbulent time here, and there is clear and evident manipulation in this market. So to start getting hyped up on figures that are up here, wherever the hell they are, just defies all logic, and I'm hoping to be at least a voice of reason. So I don't mean to go on these tangents and make these videos long, but that's it for tonight. Hopefully you do find the content valuable. Hopefully it's hopefully it helps you in some way, shape, or form. If you're looking for something like specific trade information or anything, like specific trade stops, profit targets, etc., I do that for my subscribers at geometriccharts.com. It's a small monthly fee, no contracts, no anything. And I do morning and night updates for Bitcoin, various cryptocurrencies, post charts, and so forth. But again, you can visit geometriccharts.com to learn more about that. At the bottom of my site, I have my social media links, and I have the link to the Slack channel as well. The Slack channel is cryptocurrency oriented, over 350 members there. Everyone's extremely friendly. It's just a nice place, just a nice environment to be a part of. So again, if you like the content, you enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, follow. If I do not get back to your comments, do not take that as disrespect. I'm extremely busy with managing a business and doing the subs and doing the trading. And having a 3-year-old, so my life is quite hectic. So that's why I had to kind of reduce the schedule here. But I'm going to try to elaborate more on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday videos and just try to lay it out there what I think is going to happen as best as I possibly can for everybody. So have a great day, have a great night, have a great weekend. And again, if you do like the videos, please like, because that does help a lot with YouTube, the social media, basically during the for the ranking and so forth. That's why you hear a lot of YouTubers asking for those likes and so forth. Everything is completely hinged on that. So again, thank you for your time, thank you for your support, and I'll talk to everybody on Monday.